Hey everybody, this is Anthony from Amped Airsoft, and I have my buddies.
I'm Robby.
I'm Matt.
And this is Asked Amp episode 14. All right, this is Asked Amp episode 14.
My goodness.
It's a question and answer show where you submit your questions down below on YouTube with Google Plus or on our Facebook post when we make it, and we just answer questions when we're honest about it. So there you go.
Easy.
Today
we're down by the waterfront.
Yeah, we're down by the waterfront in Homestead area.
You'll notice the edgy bridge behind us.
Robby wanted to climb on it, but
I shot that down.
Very risky. I didn't know it was like out of commission. I don't know. Well, isn't there a bike?
Oh, this is from Ask 12. It's Waffle Man Media. Crap they know.
I think he's referring to his Illuminati post.
Also,
Also,
we know everything.
We made the box more sweet. We sticker bombed it. I had stickers.
Plus 5 horsepower.
Yeah, that's what it does.
We had the fast sticker. It's pretty sweet.
I did. RK Shuri Games. So I'm just wondering, when you do a P-Star build, the G&G CM16 Fusion engine install for an example, why do you not ship the gearbox since we buy the whole gun plus the Fusion engine? I'm just a little curious about it. Keep up the videos, guys. Also, Mike is not operator. Apparently Mike is his friend. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, Mike, you're an operator today.
Today I'll allow it. And the reason you'll get the gearbox is because you don't buy the whole gun. We give it to you for $100 off so that you can save some money, because if we did that, all of our Fusion engine builds would be $100 more expensive.
Yeah, the discount's just built in already. Because we just, it's assumed that you don't want it anymore since you're getting
yeah, so we take the gearbox and the motor, we drop $100 off the total cost, and then then there's other costs taken out based on like buying everything in bulk. So for the tank and the regulator and all that stuff. So
yeah,
it's better to buy it as a pre-built gun with the whole package because you save money. And we keep the gearbox. We use them for tech work. If anybody's been to a NAT op, they know that if they have their gun broken down and I actually want to really go play, I'm not going to spend the time to rip your gearbox apart. So I'm just going to hand you a G&G or a VFC complete gearbox, and I'm going to send you on your way because it's way easier. So, Robby, stop coloring for a second.
No!
You broke the crayon.
Oh, I went too hard.
In case you're wondering, Robby's working on a piece of art, and we may raffle this off.
Starting with the elephant.
Starting with the elephant.
Make our way across. Just getting out of control.
Go on, Robby.
All right, Jeremiah Shepard, Anthony and Matt, thank you for your service.
You're welcome.
America.
Other Matt thanks you, I'm sure.
America.
Actually, he just got out of the Marines, so send him
He
another
just got out.
congratulations.
Yeah, Matt here is actually spelled with 2 T's. Our other Matt is spelled with 1 T. That's how we
I think they're catching on, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I will be running an SMP, but for Faded Giant 3, I was hoping to go silent. What is the best cream-filled banana? I hate that for the job. It is for an M4 platform, so I'm hoping for an accurate look if possible.
Possible.
We have to call them cream-filled bananas because we do not want to deal with the ATF.
Yeah, technically, I guess it's not. We just don't. It's at this point, it's just kind of funny, so we do it. But
yeah, you all know what it means.
We just don't want to deal with them.
What would you say is the best one?
Pretty much for an M4 platform. So the nice thing about M4s is that pretty much anything that is 14mm counterclockwise will fit, and generally most
clockwise
suppressors,
on some too, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, depending on the gun.
GMPs are clockwise.
But
most other stuff is
for most guns, it seems like most of the suppressors on the market are sort of designed to fit around the M4. If you're running an AK or something that's a higher caliber variant, then if you really want to be specific, sometimes you have to pick and choose. But
so
generally, a lot of the stuff.
Let's go with like let's see here. AKs, you have the PBS1 and PBS4 for Magpul. So if you want an AK authentic, PBS, PVS, I don't know, whatever. It's potato and flashlight. There's the mag light and the potato.
Yeah, they look silly.
I'm probably butchering that, and some like Russian enthusiast is going to tear me apart in the comments. Whatever. If you want a 308, there's the Scarh Heavy AAC, and then for the M4, I'm a big fan of the standard AAC.
Can't find them.
Can't find them though.
Yeah.
The AAC Mini, and I'm a big fan of the new Knights Armament QD ones from Magpul as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually just got a bunch of those in, and
if you really want to be quiet and you feel like taking the time to do it, track down a Lilac suppressor. They sit right around $100, but they're pretty much the most quiet suppressors on the market.
Yours has Lilacs in, correct?
Yeah, mine. The problem, I have an AAC. I have the M4 2000 AAC before they went out of production, but I have a Lilac kit in it. It's only like this long though, because the flash hider sits inside of it, but it's still pretty darn quiet.
I ran that at OpX this weekend. Robby let me borrow it. That thing is nice. You could barely hear the Wolverine. It was almost pitiful sounding how quiet it was.
Yeah. All right, pick a question, Matt. And we answered that one pretty thoroughly.
DJ Torrance. Hey Amped, I'm thinking about getting the player package puller start kit, and I was wondering if I should get the Firebase regulator or the LPR. Which one is better and why? Let's do that one because he's got a second question after that.
Wait, what was he?
An LPR.
Firebase or LPR?
They're exactly the same. I would say that the LPR is less expensive. I feel that the Firebase is assembled to a better quality. Personally.
Yeah, the finish on it's
the fit and finish on it is a lot nicer. But function-wise, they are identical.
I think the main thing is price. Is there a price difference?
Yeah, not a lot though.
Okay.
It's like $10 or something like that.
Yeah, it's very.
And then second question: do you have a player package for the version 3 Gen 3? Awesome video, guys. Keep up the great work. And chocolate-dipped chocolate chip cookies for the win. That's a lot of chocolate.
That's a lot. That's a little too much chocolate.
Oh
See,
my
you have
goodness.
to. Here's the thing about cookies: you have to strike a fine balance between the delicious sugary dough and then the things that you add on, or they're called adjuncts. Those are the things that you add on to the cookie to make it better. So like the chocolate chip cookies, you have to make sure you have the right chocolate chips. Otherwise, the cookie dough is going to taste like garbage. So you got to be careful. There's a fine line. And much like anything in life, if you take it too far, you abuse it and then you ruin it. So
we do have the Gen 3?
Yeah, it's the AK build player pack. Yeah, we got it. If you didn't find it, yeah, we got it. If you didn't find it still, you can email us and we could get you. Yeah, we got it. I mean, it's fine. In one of your previous episodes, Anthony mentioned something about a special event at Mercer Airsoft Center. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
It's Red Dawn, right?
Yes, Red Dawn 4 is happening at Mercer. The Red Dawn series for Northeast Ohio / Western PA has been run by my team, my personal team, from Ohio for the last 5 years now.
Look at this kid, he's fading.
He's fading crayons.
Yeah.
Oh
This is gonna be majestic.
This is some artsy shit right here. So,
All right, so what else about
so here's the deal.
Red Dawn.
Red Dawn, our team used to be kind of like a three-way, kind of democratically run kind of thing between myself, my buddy Casey, and my buddy Brian, and then with input from everyone else before we ever made team decisions. Well, recently, my friend Casey, he passed away in a car accident. And he was the one leading the charge on the planning for this event, so we all kind of took it up and are putting it together in his honor. Yeah, he died in a car accident, about a month ago now? Month and a half ago.
More than a month, I think.
Longer than that.
Yeah, a month and a half ago now.
2 months.
So yeah, he was one of my best friends. He died in a car accident, so what we're doing is we're holding the game completely in his honor, and all of the proceeds are going towards his family to help cover burial costs and hospital bills and stuff like that. He used to be a nurse. He used to be an avid airsoft player. If you're from Ohio, in the Northeast Ohio area, you've definitely probably at least bumped into him. He was a very prolific player. You saw him around a lot. So we're going to be running that. I'm going to be the CO of the TAN team, which is supposed to be the Russians.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to represent Red Dawn like the movie. Not the new one that's kind of okay, but the original one that's awesome.
No Thor.
No, Thor's not in this one.
Thor's not in this one.
Aw.
So it's supposed to be Russians versus Americans, and there's going to be a role-playing element and a few other people made out as the Wolverines from the movie.
Yep.
So it's going to be really cool. It's going to be a fun game.
Yeah, me and Matt are actually going to be. I'm sort of leading the Wolverines. Kinda,
Yeah,
so.
you're our civilian CO.
Yep.
This will be interesting.
So it's going to be fun.
If you haven't been Mercer,
it's like the biggest game at Mercer.
Yeah.
It's
going to be packed.
It's
so.
going to be packed.
There's going to be vehicles.
Kids love this game. So there's going to be There's going to be at least 1 or 2 vehicles there. There's going to be a raffle. Most of the stuff is being donated by all of the team members and people that we know, so that we can keep the costs down to give more money to his family.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal for me, so I'd appreciate it if you showed up personally, because I'd like to have his family get as much help as possible. Other than that, it's going to be real fun. I'm going to be the Russian CO on the TAN team, and then I like to wreck stuff, so
Should be
let's
cool.
wreck faces.
There's going to be a lot of wrecking going
There's
on.
going to be a lot of
It's
wrecking.
going to be ridiculous, but it'll be fun. All right, whose turn is it?
You.
That would be you. I answered a question about myself.
Robbie over here
Man,
in
you have a lot
coloring
of,
world.
There's a lot of these stuffed in here, man.
The last couple episodes have been pretty prolific on the question dumps.
Yeah.
Okay. Cole McGuane. What is the silencer called that drops the FPS on my CM16? And what course within a 150-mile radius can one use a tank in? First question, if you're talking about the velocity reducers, it's a screw-on muzzle attachment device. Maybe I took your Maru, we carry them. It's not a suppressor. It still has threads on it, so you can attach a suppressor to the outside. It's about yay big. It has different rings that will affect the feet per second and the velocity in different ways. So it has a little rubber flap in there that's cut in an X pattern, and whenever you use those different rings, it controls how open that flap is, and that controls your feet per second. So that's probably what you're thinking of. Those are about $35.
Tokyo Marui velocity reducer.
They work pretty well too.
Yeah, we always have those. They're very good to use.
What course within a 150-mile radius can one use a tank in? Well, I'm pretty sure there's nowhere around here that has actually banned Polar Stars or anything.
I think he means like a tank, like
oh, sorry, we're in the,
like that kind of tank.
If you have an actual tank, I mean, I don't know who's going to say no.
I was like,
that's pretty
the only civilian I know who's got a tank is Arnold Schwarzenegger. So if you're friends with him,
if you bring a tank, I mean, that's pretty cool. You know,
it's kind of scary too. But
you can bring a tank.
What kind of tank are we talking?
Like specify.
Like Fury World War II tank, or like?
I can't wait for that movie.
I can't. I have a little bit of a.
We're gonna go see that. We're gonna go.
That's a Saturday night movie special.
Hopefully it doesn't suck.
Hopefully it doesn't suck.
I really hope it doesn't.
All right, the Ganja Turtle.
Oh man, come on, man, you can do better than that.
Why don't I see any noticeable difference when using a Magpul aluminum .03 barrel at 247 millimeters compared to an Orga HD .10 at 260 with flat hop? Also, banana pants ain't got nothing on apple bottom jeans.
All right, well,
I don't
still throwing punches.
I don't have anything to say about that.
For like one episode, and you're still just.
Man, they're gonna keep coming, man.
They're not going anywhere.
All right, so I'm gonna read two. This one's from Ninja Turtle 1980. I don't know, whatever.
We're just gonna skip Matt's?
Yeah, we're just gonna not answer it. Jeez, you in a hurry?
Yeah. What are we doing? I wasn't paying
pull
attention.
it out, reread it.
Where is it? Is it this one?
Man.
No, that's Cole.
Jeez. He was asking about the difference between two barrels. Very
basically,
specifically.
So the Magpul.
You lose a turn.
That's fine. I'm getting excited.
The 610s we found through a lot of testing. The 610s are cool, but we still prefer the 623s. The reason you're probably not seeing much of a difference is because the 610 isn't really wide enough to have the effect that an Orga does. So, for example, going from a 603 to a 610 is not the same as going from a 603 to a 623. It's not the same, concept. It's not enough to make a huge difference. So they're going to shoot probably pretty similarly, especially with the 610s are Teflon coated, and the Magpul 603s, if you're using an aluminum one or a,
I believe they're Teflon coated too.
Yeah, it might be Teflon coated too. So they're very. If it's the one I'm thinking of, if it's like the Black Python or the gray Teflon coated ones, they're very similar in the way they're produced. So it's probably why they shoot really similarly. What was the,
also,
there was another part of the question.
Yeah, keep your eyes on our YouTube channel. We're gonna start doing a very to the point how-to series, and the differences, the wide bore versus tight bore, all little things like that. We're just going to all the little questions you guys have.
The difference between a 247 603 and a 260 610 with a flat hop. And banana pants ain't got nothing on apple bottom jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, flat hop has a pretty decent. It has a noticeable effect. I'm not going to say it makes or breaks the gun because it doesn't. The
big thing about this question though is that we have no idea what his setup is.
Yeah, as far as the gun,
we don't know what gun. We don't even know. We don't know what gun it's in. We don't know what setup it is. We don't know if it's a Polar Star, what PSI, what nozzle.
Yeah.
What hop up he has. We don't know what AEG. Like, we just don't know. So the best we can say is that they're going to shoot similar because they're only 0.07 millimeters difference. Yeah. So it's something.
It's more of a
something to keep in mind.
Minute.
Yeah. And something to look at barrels too. It's more of like a. I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. I like to think of it as quality. They're both nice barrels, but I like to think of it as a quality makes more difference in the internal bore. So if you take like a really nice stainless steel, like 608 barrel, and you put it up against a aluminum or brass 603, if it's cut really well, the stainless steel barrel is probably going to outshoot
rock it all day.
So look for that.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Anyway, since I was getting chastised, this one's from Ninja Turtle 1980. This is Gordo. If you're asking if you can use a regular M4 hop ups on a VFC Scarh, then yes, but with some modification. That involves cutting your lower receiver and ruining its resale value, and he has a link for P-Star Talk. He was referring to someone else who was asking if you could put M4 hop-ups in VFC Scarhs. Yeah. You have to butcher your body.
Yeah,
so you have to ruin it, so you're never going to sell it. Don't, if you care.
The right people, yeah. As long as they're okay with having an aftermarket hop-up, I think
if it works and you know how to sell it,
As long as
I don't think people would have a problem.
You do it well.
All right.
Nice.
What else you got?
All right, this one's from Ryan Bauer. Is it true that the federal government passed a bill stating all airsoft guns need to be gold or chrome and BBs must be clear? I read it on Reddit under some posts and couldn't find anything on it.
Reddit's good for something.
Let's go back to Reddit.
Let's go back to Reddit. First of all, that you should never list that as a primary source. I'm not trying to rip on you or anything. I'm just saying that.
Try that out with a college paper and see what happens.
That's Reddit. Reddit is full of trolls.
You're going to quote Reddit on a paper, aren't you, Robbie?
Yeah, As for chrome and gold, I do know that.
I don't know.
Here's the thing: I don't live in California, so Senate Bill, whatever
199
199 is not like it's.
I think
there's nothing I could have done about it anyways. Here's the deal: for all you poor guys who live in California, there's nothing we could have done about it. There's nothing we could have done about it. Here in PA, the most I could do is go, don't pass it. But they're like, people from California, they're not going to listen to some kid in PA. It's not going to happen.
True.
I wish there was something I could do about it, but I do know there was provisions for coloring the guns different colors to make sure that they look like toys. There's no regulations on the BBs that I know of.
That's a troll. That sounds like a troll post.
That's all it sounds like a troll
clear
post. Clear
BBs. I think that's that doesn't make any sense.
It's probably a jab at 2.7s. And they're just trying to be funny. So.
Well, those BioVol 2.7s used to wreck people though.
They shot good.
I got one of those. Actually, I have one of those buried in my face.
Gross.
All right.
It's your turn.
My turn.
Give it coloring.
Dig my fist in there. Dan Lee, for the OG mat.
One T.
For the OG mat. I've recently dropped an SMP into my A&K M Mark 46.
Pretty cool.
I had been using an R hop patch to overcome the A&K's abysmal hop. I like abysmal. That's a good word.
Abysmal is
2 points on word
I
usage.
use abysmal all
That's a $5 word right there.
But I haven't been able.
Spill the spaghetti.
But I haven't been able to get it to work properly with the new HPA system. As a fellow sport gunner and R hop detractor, what would you recommend as the best hop up configuration?
Oh, because he's talking about when Matt called out.
Oh, the R hops.
So what I would do with an A&K, so the A&K saws, the nice thing is they're compatible with Classic Army hop-up units. So if you snag a Classic Army hop-up unit, it'll make it better. I mean, the hop I'm still not a fan of the way it loads in from the side. I feel like the GMP Mark 46 saws, so they have that brass fitting that goes right up into the middle into a more standard hop-up is superior. But
much superior.
If you are going to try to make the best of it, I would say number one, pick up a Classic Army hop-up unit, and then you can mess around with the R-hop. But the way those hop-up units are designed, just for whatever reason, and support guns like the MP49 hops, they just don't seem to like it very much. I don't know what it is, but you just got to play with it. I mean, they're weird. You know, like I said, the Classic Army hop-up will make it a little better, but I wish Matt was here because I think Matt just ran the stock A&K hop-up though, and he didn't really
yeah, he ran the stock A&K hop-up, and he overcame range issues with volume of fire.
Yeah, Matt just shot a lot.
He just shot a lot. Like, he just held the trigger down.
You haven't shot at with Matt, you know.
Like,
you get hit with a lot of BBs.
Honestly, R-hop should be fine, but if it's having issues, worst case, just go back to normal nub and see what happens. Just start messing around with it. You know, go back to normal and see if it's still having the same issues, and then you'll know what's actually happening. So
yeah, you'll know it's your hop-up instead of your bucking and stuff wearing out.
You can narrow down what's up with it and what the gun doesn't like in particular.
Yeah.
All right, we got another one from Thumpmaster 6. This was posted on the one we did from New Jersey. Lucky 13, and this one on location at OpX in New Jersey last weekend.
Thumpy.
Nice.
Thumpy shares our stuff, and he
uses, Thumpy's awesome.
So here's what he's doing: is he's using Google Plus, and so it's making a post on our YouTube. On our YouTube.
Thank you, Thumpy. We love you.
I'll save the Taz hashtag Free Curt 2014.
Thumpy's awesome.
Use that hashtag. See if we can get it going.
Free Curt 2014.
Thumpy's sweet.
I love.
All right, I think we may have just answered this one from Owen Canas. Are the VFC Scarh H hop ups compatible with any other hop up unit, or are they only compatible with the stock VFC hop ups?
You have to butcher.
You have to like, because the way the bodies and everything work on a
can't read.
The way the bodies and everything work on a Scarh, the lower receiver hinges off, and so that means that the hop up is in two pieces, because the feed tube for the hop up is built into the lower receiver, and then the upper part of the hop up is in the upper receiver still. That being said, in order to get an aftermarket hop up to fit, you have to cut everything out. You have to cut the feed tube out. You have to cut out. You have to just. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. Like, it's not gonna be fun. Will you get it to work? I've seen it work. I've seen it work a lot of times actually. First one. This is gonna be a rapid fire one, so I'm just gonna go. This is Cole McGuane again. Would any of you join the U.S. Air Force? No, because I was in the Army. Next question.
I'll go with that answer. Minus the Army part.
I like to do work.
Do I look like I'm designed for the military? Really? I'm wearing a deep V. No.
This one's from Andrew Chesler, a buddy of mine. Anthony doesn't operate, much lies. Bullshit, you're an asshole. Next one.
Are you answering all of them?
No, I'm getting one that's I'm going until I find one that's an actual question.
He gets all the fun ones.
There we go. All right. So this one's from Honey Buns. Here's one for less than $70. What do you guys recommend for a solid looking and comfortable feeling mix style helmet? And for under $160, what about some boots? Hashtag banana pants, Hashtag codename balls. Hashtag dad ass.
We tried to squash the banana pants thing.
It's not
it doesn't
happening.
go away.
It's not happening.
They attract attention. Tell you what.
Yeah.
Those things walk down the street and everyone's like.
Helmet-wise.
Helmet-wise.
At least that pretty
Unless
much,
you find a
Emerson's.
used one, your Emersons are going to be about
now,
70 or 80.
You can find real mix for under that price, but mix are really heavy. Like
You can find real helmets for that price.
they're
Yeah.
they're going to be like
Pazgat and
They're-
Mick helmets.
They're
They're
going to be heavy
ballistic.
because they're going to
You
be.
can find old school
Ooh.
Pazgats for like 20
you
You
really-
can find old Pazgats for like $20.
I'm a girl. I don't really like running around with like 150 pounds on my head. It starts to suck after a while. So, I honestly, if you have that going for, if you get like one of the Emerson bumps are pretty nice. I mean,
The Emerson ones for a replica helmet.
for what they cost,
The
pretty cool.
Yeah, they're worth it.
Emerson mix aren't bad. They come with better padding now than they used to,
Yeah, the
which
cool
is
thing
The only thing with the Emerson mix, I would say, is maybe find a different adhesive for some of the padding, because I know sometimes it's not
you can
the
also
best
just get new
adhesive.
padding. There's people
Or
who
new
make
padding.
Get Team Windy pads.
You could do
Yeah.
that.
They're nice.
There's people who make custom pads on eBay that are really nice too that you can pick up. You can do all kinds of stuff. You could also do something people do a lot. If you got like one of the TMC airframes, which they're all right. You get the shell. A lot of people will buy the airframe and then replace all of the internal and external parts with actual Cry hardware. That's a little more expensive, but
Yeah.
It works.
if you want the look of an airframe and still have a pretty comfortable feeling on your head, just you don't have the ballistic capability, but who cares? It's airsoft.
I've
so
also
you can
seen
go with that.
some people take like mix and they take the like fast bump like suspension
That's
system
what-
out
that's
and
what
they
Matt
do that,
did.
and
Matt-
that helps a lot too.
Matt 1T he took
Matt 1T.
he took an Emerson bump helmet and ripped all the guts of it out and put it into an Emerson Mick so that he would have a more comfortable helmet.
Yeah.
Second part of that question was boots for 100, 160. Let's see here. I have a lot of backcountry hiking experience. I like
You could get some Merrills for that.
Merrill's, Vask, Loa. I'm a big fan of a Solos. I also like trying to think.
Solomons are nice.
Solomons are pretty
they're
sweet.
They're
a little more
little
expensive.
more
though.
expensive usually.
Make sure
keep
you
that in
get
mind.
something that's at least mid-height or high ankle. Don't get any of the short.
Yeah,
Is,
otherwise it
is
destroys the point because you're just
Oakley
gonna
still
bend your
doing
foot.
boots?
Oakley still does boots, but I don't
Theirs are
think they're worth it.
expensive.
Under Armour also makes ones that are really cool. They just said hell with it with the waterproofing. They just put holes in it. That way it drains instantly.
Oh,
So
those
it's
are the ones
just
that Zach has, right?
They look.
They're-
I kind
they're
of want
nice.
to try them.
They're nice, but they're not very. They don't last very long.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Yeah, they don't.
So those brands,
Sold very well.
right now I'm working on some Vask Trekkers. I have probably about backcountry, probably about 1,500 to 2,000 miles on them, something like that. Backcountry, and that's not including Airsoft because I wear them for Airsoft too.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of those. I've had a couple pairs of Merrills. I'm a big fan of those. You can get Milsurp issue boots for that price too. You can get Milsurp issue boots for cheaper actually. You probably get them for like 50 to
Yeah, you can
60
get a pair
bucks.
of-
And I recommend either Danners for that or Belleville's. Those are the two brands for Milsurp issue boots I would get.
If they still make them, I had a pair of, I forget what type they were, but I had a pair of the Blackhawks, and those
Those are
lasted
pretty
pretty
nice.
good. I don't know if you can find those anymore. They still make them.
I don't think-
Blackhawks just
I
kind
don't
of
know.
fizzled out, so I'm not
See, here's
really
my
sure.
thing. I've been through a lot of boots. I've done a lot of outdoorsy stuff, and I've done a lot of stuff. So like, the big thing is what you really need to do is you need to take the brands that we gave you. You need to go to a store like an REI
try 'em on.
and you have to
gotta
try
try
them
'em
on,
on.
and you gotta and you also have to go and get good socks when you get them. You don't want to be wearing white, crappy, like regular socks with these. You want to wear thick comfy boot socks.
Oh, and that's also something to keep in mind when you're trying them on for sizing too, because if you think about it, socks are at least a couple millimeters thick. Socks get up to
Yeah,
good boot socks.
up
good
to-
socks are important. So
up to a 1/4 inch thick. So when you try it, it might be good to take with you to the store when you try them on a good pair of socks. That way you actually get accurate sizing and you're not,
if you go to REI, they have smart wool socks that you can try on. That they wash them.
All right.
They have smart wool socks in the bin that they wash that you
That's
can
good.
try on and then try on the boots.
Yeah.
So
That's
that way
cool.
you can get them for the right size. Like, it's very important to go try on all these boots.
Absolutely.
So
So try them out.
do it.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Rob Dog.
I had to go through like 4 of them to. Andy Ches over here
He's just trying to empty
Trolling.
the bin. That means you guys got to get more in.
Hey.
trolling me.
I'm gonna throw another one. Ryan Bauer says Butthurt edition. Yeah, that was funny. That Richie,
Richie, I love Richie. He's funny.
Rich is my boy.
Dude, you missed his shotgun.
From me to you, Rich, though, hate you. You're a dick. Just kidding.
You missed his shotgun.
I know. I wanted to see Rich's.
Okay,
shotgun.
Richie had a shotgun at OpEx.
Fuck. Could-
What is it?
Couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah! All right.
Speaking of Rich,
Speaking of Rich.
All right. Rich Campbell says, "Who is that crazy bastard video bomb?" And I replied to you too. So I'm pretty sure I called you a dick in the comment too.
But he had a Tokyo Marui shotgun, and he got the Angry Gun stock tube for it, and he HPA tapped that. So then it was just no all day, just could run and pump it. He had a railed
One for you.
Pump
By accident.
on it with a Magpul Mo on it, with a RVG, I mean, and then he had a Magwell adapter for it so that it could run M4 mid-caps out of the shotgun, and he was just wasting dudes with it.
Firing the crap out of it.
He was just bam, bam, bam.
So
Like, oh, it was. I had a chub every time I saw it. I was like, I want this. I want it.
Pretty funny.
All
This is
right.
a weird one.
NEPA Airsoft. Ever seen a scope setup for PPSH? Nope. Other than a vintage night vision one I have seen in World War II pictures, have you ever pictures? Have you ever heard of one on
Much
a PPSH? That's what I.
What is this lemonade stand?
There's money in the banana stand.
There's money in the banana stand. The
Quite
banana
literally.
stand will carry us.
I've never.
Arrested Development reference. Watch that show.
I've never seen any sort of sight on those.
I have
That was
never.
sort
never-
of pre.
That was
pre-optic.
pre like optics
pre-optic
kind of, or
for anything
pre
but, like,
optics
a
for
rifle,
the
yeah.
Russian army, really.
Well, the big thing about large conflicts like that is to realize is that unlike today where everybody gets really high-speed, cool guy stuff, back then you would lose thousands of people in one battle.
It was a stats game.
It was a
just
stats
It was a
game.
numbers game.
It was a numbers game. So like you wouldn't
Much like
give
Robby going out that going out to the bar night. It's a numbers game.
it's a numbers game. You got to keep trying before you.
It's a numbers game for me, man.
So like back then, like standard regular infantry, they didn't get scopes, they didn't get cool stuff like that because they were gonna be thrown into the meat grinder and killed. So there was no
and their
cool
stuff
guys.
was gonna be picked up.
And there was
Yep.
there was no cool guy stuff. Even like in some of the best well-equipped infantrymen at the time, like the U.S. infantry or the German infantry, even then their stuff was pretty bare bones for the most part. Their kit consisted of ways to carry these things: ammo, food, some type of shelter, water, ammo, and then clothes. That's it.
Yep.
No scopes, no anything. That's just we couldn't afford to
making
do it.
so much of the stuff. It just
Yeah, there's way too much mass.
Like I mean, think of it like this. Like think of a battle today, like D-Day. Like as horrible as this could be to think about, but think about it for a second. Think of a battle like D-Day today, but with dudes kitted the way we have them kitted now, jumping off of those landing craft and at it like Marines now jumping out of those landing craft. Like the amphibious tanks and just getting cut. Think of the monetary loss. We couldn't afford to keep that up.
Yeah.
We just wouldn't be able to do it.
Everyone had to get a little smarter.
Especially like marksmen were usually the only ones with
only ones with
optics
scopes.
back then. Can you imagine how much one of those cost back in those days?
Well, I mean, they
compared
didn't,
to,
they didn't
what?
cost, but the thing was is that the
It's
army
not a
didn't want to
mass-producible item.
the army didn't want to spend money on you. So like, sure, the individual scope isn't expensive in the long run, but outfitting, millions of people with them, on the other hand, is just, you can't do it. You can't do it. So other than that night vision scope, no, I've never ever seen a scope. Now I've seen people take aftermarket scope mounts and rails and bolt them to real PPSHs and at firing ranges and stuff like that. I have seen that, but I don't think, historically speaking, that's a thing.
We actually have a MG42 in the tech department
an
right now and has
MG42.
a rails zip tied to it.
We have an MG42 at the tech department, although the MG42, in all honesty, is only 5 millimeters from the MG3, which was a 7.62 308 belt-fed machine gun that they used all the way up until the late 90s, the German army did. So like terrifying. That shot at like 1,400 rounds a minute. So like that has rail kits on it. So like some spray paint, you wouldn't be able to tell that's an MG42 at that point.
All right.
Let's see here. Ninja Turtle, Gordo again. At Anthony, thank you for your service and sharing your stories of your tour in Iraq. Well, thank you, sir. Your courage and resilience is truly admirable. There's some stories. There's some hilarious stories. We'll throw those in sometime when we meet face to face. Would you mind telling us how you stayed strong when you got shot at with real bullets 4 or 5 days a week? Well, it was more so of a collective statement amongst the whole group, but yes, I did get shot at a lot.
Had something to do with that.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, on night missions, I would drink 4 Red Bulls and do 6 stacker 2s and then be up for 36 hours straight. But resilience, about like, the big thing about going into like a real conflict is that you realize that once you're in it, there's only 2 ways you're not in it anymore. you either went home or you
you
didn't,
died.
or you didn't. So like
Shot.
at the time, you are really mentally strong. Like you're like, I got to do this, I got to do it. That's it. There's no option. The big problem with veterans today is that when we come home, the VA is understaffed, underfunded, and under-equipped to handle the influx of veterans. Veterans coming home right now who are new to the system have a 600-plus day wait to get any service from the VA at all. And for a lot of guys, especially a lot of guys who see some really heavy combat, that 600 days is long enough for them to never make it to a doctor because they commit suicide.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. The hardest part isn't the fight, it's the coming home from the fight. That's the hardest part. Reintegration into society. And so, you know, that's something to keep in mind. So if you, for all you guys out there, like if you have local veteran outreach programs, I suggest you donate some of your time and go hang out with some veterans, maybe donate some money and do some stuff like that.
Yeah, Gordo, I know you think this stuff's cool. On TED Talks, there's a Sebastian Younger one where
yeah, Sebastian Younger is a sweet dude.
So I'm actually using it for a school report right now. So
yeah.
I've got all his books and movies if you need them too.
I have to analyze it and do a report on it. So that's what I'm doing.
Just the talk or the movie?
Just the talk.
The talk was excellent, though.
Yeah.
He realizes he basically breaks it out, in case you guys don't have time to see it. He breaks it out in the idea that the reason why soldiers want to go back to war is because they've missed the brotherhood. Because there's nothing more important to you than your battle buddies. Like that's why I always use the term battle buddies, is because it's a term of endearment. That means that I'm willing to sacrifice my well-being for you.
Yep.
Or the well-being of the group. So so that feeling of togetherness, despite all of the horrible stuff that goes on, it's an excellent talk. Sebastian Younger is
it's like 16 minutes.
Excellent journalist, excellent filmmaker. I suggest you watch his movies like The Korengal.
Restrepo. Is Korengal out?
Korengal's coming out on DVD very, very soon.
It came out last week.
Watch it.
Oh, it came out last week. So at the time of this
it.
recording, it came out last week. I have to get it.
Yeah.
Excellent film.
Probably going to be hard to watch, but
it's going to be very hard to watch.
Also, it focuses a little more on his life, but they did Where's the Front Line from Here? It's about Tim Hetherington.
Tim Hetherington.
He was the photographer who died
the photographer to Sebastian Younger.
It goes over his entire career, but a lot of it, because he really got his, he was known for a lot of stuff he did in Afghanistan and for Restrepo.
Iraq.
And there's a lot of extra footage in there, and it goes more in depth of the relationship between journalists and soldiers and just
becoming part of the group, because generally, like, if you're willing to be a part of that, you get accepted into the group. But that's a big thing that the photojournalists who go to these conflicts are realizing, is that the soldiers welcome them in because it's a way for them to vent about all the stuff that's screwed up without getting in trouble. And they accept them in as one of their own, even if they won't pick up a rifle.
It's
very important.
Cool, though.
It's very cool.
Next question from Agent Delinquent. How do you install a bolt catch on a P-Star if you purchase the bolt catch component sold at Ample? This is interesting. Basically, the way they expect you to do that is, originally they actually threaded the side of the fusion engines for the screws to go in. Now you have to thread them yourself because they just took it out of the process.
Yeah, just stop doing it.
So you actually have to find the correct. If you look online, you find, I can't remember it off the top of my head, but we can do it at the shop. I'm not sure if you're local or not, but we do it at the shop from time to time. You basically have to go through and thread those holes for the screws they provide with you, and then you can screw it all together. So it's no longer a drop-in thing. So that's just something to keep in mind before you pull the trigger on it.
Do you really necessarily need it though?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool.
It's cool.
It's kind of cool.
I mean, I'm not going to say that it's dumb to do it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
But
it's really nice for adjusting hop up. That's the only thing that's what I really like it for. That way you can just lock it back. You don't have to pull it back every time you fiddle with it. You just lock it back and go.
You could do that troll statement right now. Are you ready?
What's that?
If you get an SMP and you put it in a Crytac, you get to keep your bolt stop.
Ooh.
Because it's all on the gearbox shell. Ooh. Just saying. So is the ambi. You get an ambi selector too.
Yep.
Zing.
Alrighty. From Aaron Evan, what do you guys know about M4 to MP5 Magwell adapters? Thanks. Keep up the good work.
It's a very recent product. It goes inside the M4 Magwell and makes it so that it'll take MP5 mags.
I've seen the 9mm.
There's a 9mm GMP rifle that's built from GMP as a 9mm.
Curt actually has a real one of those. Curt has a real 9mm Colt. It's pretty sweet.
I've shot a couple before, and I've never had a rifle jam on me more.
It
was a rental at a range, but
there you go.
You should have seen how bad that thing jammed.
9mm conversions are very bad for that because there's a lot of metal to move with that smaller charge of a 9mm. It doesn't have as much pressure
the bolt
behind
pack and like a round stuck in like that. I'm like, that's not good.
I think Kurt's we shot it. We probably shot at least like 150 rounds through it. It only jammed like once or twice, but that's a Colt.
That's why that's good for training. That's why those types of guns are good for training, though.
Yeah.
Because it really makes you work on your speed and your reaction of diagnosing problems. But the MP5 Magwell to converter for AEGs, I don't see why it would really hinder you in any kind of way or have any problems with it. I've never seen one in person, so take all of this as anecdotal evidence, anecdotal speaking. But
they used to, like, back in the TM Classic Army days, they had a couple, didn't they?
They used to be very prevalent, yeah. But then they just kind of stopped.
They kind of fizzled out, like.
Well, because we want to
master.
We want to do Keymaster and Gozer. You're not cameraman. Sit down. Not your job.
No, I have to cut that, man.
Not your job.
Well,
I don't care. It means how much was left?
Was my job.
How much was left?
You have 12 minutes.
Okay.
We're so good. Do you have it on 1080 or 720?
7.
Okay. Cute.
You gonna read it out loud?
I'm just trying to. Here's the thing. Like, I'm trying to see if we did this question before. No, we didn't. Okay. Aaron Evan asked, you guys should get a nice 3D printer so you can make custom mounts for random stuff. I would be untreated in getting some stuff made if you did. I think he meant something along the lines of I would be excited to buy it from you.
It would be awesome.
Autocorrect strikes again. Gotta watch out for your autocorrect, guys.
I'm gonna leave it in there.
We want one, but it's not in the works right now just because of cost. I want one just because I want to make some cool stuff on it. Like I just want to make little 3D. Just want to make little 3D frogs and stupid stuff like that. I want to use all my my 3ds Studio Max and all that stuff that I've had to learn for college. I want to put it to good use.
There you go. We do one more round.
Yeah, we'll do one more round after Robby does this one.
I think in the next 10 or 15 years, 3D printers are going to start to really just exponentially just.
Yeah, they'll be
household items pretty soon.
Started out as just plastic, then everyone's like, oh wait, we can make food with this, and everyone's like,
3D print food.
What? All right. X, no space L1 M1 T capital Z, X no limits.
No limits.
X no limits X. Can you tell us anything about the Vulcan V12?
The Vulcan V12.
Nope.
Well,
sorta.
The thing is that right now I've said this before in another video. We before we start picking up a product and really running with it, we do a lot of extensive testing and playing with it first before we ever like wholeheartedly like run with a product. We did the same thing with the Fusion engine. Well, not me. This guy did. I wasn't around yet.
Oh, sorry.
Where they went to Polar Star and helped hand assemble the first batches of FCUs.
We put together the first 30 Fusion engines on the market.
Yeah, these guys did.
That was pretty sweet. Then we actually got a couple months before the Fusion engine was actually released. We had them in all of our guns, so we got to run them and play with them a little bit and figure it out.
Same thing with the Wolverine. We did a lot of extensive testing of the Wolverine before we ever released a video with the opinion of it. So that's what the point of the Honest Guys series is, though, is that we don't do reviews on something until we're very thoroughly educated about it, and then we also try to be as honest as possible. So the problem with the Honest Guy reviews also is that we try not to carry crap products, so we might not ever have really that awful of a review, to be honest with you, because we try to weed that stuff out and keep you guys from getting a hold of it.
Yeah.
So the Vulcan we don't have an opinion on because we just haven't used it enough.
True.
We have one at the shop that we've been abusing, but I mean that's one of those time will tell kind of things. Probably in the next couple weeks we'll figure out something and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Although Rudy has a very in-depth video series if you want to watch it.
Aaron Evan, again.
Man, he's got all of his questions today. And there's still like 15 or 20 of them in here at least. There's more than that. There's probably like 30 in there.
Start filtering you out, man. If I said here's $5,739, build me a custom gun, and left you to it, what would you put in it and what brand and model? Thanks.
You couldn't put that much money into an airsoft gun if you tried.
You could.
Now, if we're talking with like scopes and other aftermarket stuff, yeah. But as far as like the gun itself, it is not physically possible to put that money into an airsoft gun without any optics or flashlights or anything. I really don't think it's possible. There's no way.
I've seen a guy who had
to be like a dual minigun and a turret or something.
I've seen a guy who had a PTW lower set and an upper set custom machined into the salient arms, upper and lower.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
And then anodized. That would be really expensive. You're looking at probably at least $1.5 grand right there for 2 pieces of metal.
Sure, it wasn't a real salient arms receiver. Yeah.
Even then, that's a $3 grand thing.
The closest you're going to get to be able to do that is definitely a PTW, because you can't. It's hard to put that much money into an AEG. PTWs are definitely, with all the PTW parts. Some of the lower receivers go for $400 or $500 just for the lower receiver. Once you get into motors and then real rail systems, upper receivers, stuff like that, you can probably push a PTW right to around $3 or $4 grand.
3 to 4, yeah.
One of the most expensive PTWs is currently the the 416.
Yeah,
416 PW.
Because they get a Wii 416.
Well, no, they mill it all out at the They mill it all out at their place. It's all built, like machined, I believe, at the place. So
I've seen people who take Wii 416 uppers.
That's the cheaper way to do it.
And then they like ghetto bang that shit together, and they use a Wii 416
yeah, the 416 PW.
You do two quick ones. Can you pull a small one?
That's a double. That's Cole McGuane again. Air Force, no. Army, all the way.
Those should have been filtered out. You mixed everything up.
Go and get into the dirt.
Said short ones.
Oh man.
Oh geez.
You got 5 minutes.
I got 5 minutes to answer this. Okay. Psycher, yo. Hey Amped, I appreciate the social media knowledge and distribution that you guys have really embraced. Thank you, sir. I've been working really hard, and I've brought in some people who want to help me, so we're doing it.
Minions.
We're rolling with it.
We even have an intern.
I have an intern. Oh, it's the worst idea ever. As such, here's a question that maybe someone else has on their mind. Would you consider the ACE or Wii hop-up chambers and tensioner adjusters a worthy investment for the Magpul PTS Masada ACR weapon systems? If not, how can one get a better and more consistent performance on any of the PTS ACR hop-ups? So that was actually 2 questions. Shut up and insert a clip of your Hummer H1 punishing Mother Earth. Technically, it's not a Hummer H1. It's an M988 HMMWV. It's an actual military Hummer, and we have
everyone knows that. How did you not know that?
we will do some. We might honor that request. That is a very fluffy dog.
Oh. Can you answer all that?
Kind of want to go.
Let's see here. I have no clue because I've never. Have you ever owned a Masada or ACR?
I had a PTS one. Which one did he say it was? The A&K one? Or
either one
or whatever it was.
The actual Magpul PTS one is different. The Magpul PTS one, the hop-up's completely proprietary, and with the A&K one, it's a little more. You just cram that thing into a little ball.
I did.
What did you say? Magpul PTS Masada ACR weapon systems. Those really, other than the parts you said, the ACR hops are pretty, especially the PTS one, the actual Magpul PTS one, which they don't make anymore. I don't think.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Magpul thing, but anyway, those hops are extremely proprietary. I own one. You can't really do anything to them because when I owned one, at least, it had a built-in nub to the hop-up chamber, and you couldn't do anything. It was like a concave nub too, so it was really weird. And you can't really hop anything over like a 2.5 unless you do modification to it. So. Other than that, there's no real aftermarket. I mean, I haven't checked recently, but I don't think there's any aftermarket.
I think that's what he's referring though, is to aftermarket products.
Well, those are hop-up chambers and tensioners, adjusters. I guess they might make them now, but that might.
Hey, there's a puppy in the frame.
Oh, hi bud. What's his name? Masa.
Oh,
he's pretty.
The little one's attacking.
Pretty puppy.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
We love dogs.
You're gonna be on YouTube, puppy.
He's so big.
That's a very fluffy dog.
You got 2 minutes.
You got like 2 minutes.
With sign off.
So other than that, like I said, I haven't been in the loop a lot, but I know they make those hop-up chambers. The ones the ones you're referring to are for the A&K one. I'm not sure if they're for the PTS one. The PTS one I think is still really weird.
My buddy is a big Masada fan. I could talk to him. I know he's done a crazy amount of work to his.
We'll throw something down below.
I'll maybe try and talk to him and see if he did anything to his.
If we can find anything before we put this video live, we'll put a link down below in the doobly-doo.
Yeah.
So that way you can find it.
The doobly-doo.
Worst case, you can always call us though.
Yeah, he could call us and we could try to find it out too.
You
can talk to me on Facebook.
You can talk to Tech Matt while he's bashing his hands up.
Is that all?
Check Vine for that.
Check Vine. I had to physically do surgery on Matt's finger today. Anyway, so this has been Anthony for Amped Airsoft. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Vine, Instagram,
Facebook.
Did I say Facebook? No, I didn't say Facebook. Facebook. Check us out on our website. Our new Friendster. Our new Tinder. Our new website's gonna be going live pretty soon that I've been working really hard on. So check us out on there at ampedairsoft.com. Until now, well, don't do that right now because you're just gonna get the old one. But pretty soon, pretty soon it's gonna go. Either way, that's gonna be it for me. We got.
I'm Robby.
And 2T Matt.
Young Robby.
Young Rob over here.
Other Young Robby.
Thanks for stopping in. We'll see you guys later.